Okay, so good morning, my students. So the roots of quadratic equations can be obtained using different methods. Using square root property, zero product property, completing the square, and using quadratic formula. So in this session, I will discuss on how to get the roots of the equations using the quadratic formula. X is equal to negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a, wherein a must not be equal to 0. I will apply the deductive method of teaching in order to follow the procedures of solving. Here are the steps in solving quadratic equation using quadratic formula. So the first step is rewrite the equation to general form. Ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, wherein a is not equal to 0. Second step, identify the value of a, b, and c. Then the last steps, using the formula, substitute the values and simplify. Okay, so let us take a look of example number 1. So example number 1. Solve the equation 6x squared minus 2 is equal to x. So first thing to do, we have to write the equation to general form. Ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Became 6x squared minus x minus 2 is equal to 0. So from positive x, we transpose to the left side. It became negative x. So the general form of 6x squared minus 2 is equal to x is 6x squared minus x minus 2 is equal to 0. Next step is identify the value of a, b, and c. From the equation 6x squared minus x minus 2 is equal to 0, a now is equal to 6, b is equal to b is equal to negative 1, and c is equal to negative 2. Okay, so the last step, using the formula, substitute the values and simplify. So using the formula, negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a, we have to substitute the value of a, b, and c, wherein b is negative 1, a is positive 6, and c is negative 2. So in this equation, you should apply the PMDAS rule. Okay, so parentheses, exponent, multiplication or division, and the last is addition or subtraction. So negative times negative 1 is positive 1. Plus minus the square root of negative 1 squared is equal to positive 1, because negative 1 times negative 1 is still positive 1. Minus, we have positive 4 times 6 times negative 2, that is negative 48. So 4 times 6 is 24 times negative 2 is negative 48. Then we have 2, the divisor, 2 multiplied by 6 is positive 12. Okay, now let us continue simplifying the answer. So positive 1 plus minus the square root of positive 1 minus the negative 48 is positive 49 over 12. Okay, now let us get the square root of 49. So the square root of 49 is 7. So 1 plus minus 7 over 12. Okay, let us continue simplifying. So first root is 1 plus 7 over 12 is equal to 1 plus 7 is 8 over 12 or 2 over 3. So that is x sub 1. And the x sub 2 is 1 minus 7 over 12. 1 minus 7 is equal to negative 6 over 12 or negative 1 half. Hence, the solution or the roots of the equation 6x squared minus 2 is equal to x are x is equal to 2/3 and x is equal to negative 1. So that is our example number 2. Let us proceed to our example number 2. Solve 5x squared plus 10x minus 2 is equal to 4 minus 3x. Okay, so if you can see our example number 2, we can combine some of the terms. So 5x squared plus 10x minus 2 is equal to 4 minus 3x. We have to equate the equation first into general form. Ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So we have now 5x squared plus 10x, then negative 3x transpose on the left side from negative will become positive 3x. Then we have negative 2, then the positive 4 transpose on the left side will become negative 4 is equal to 0. So combine positive 10x and positive 3x since they are both terms, and we have negative 2 and negative 4. So 5x squared, so the sum of 10x and 3x is 13x. And we have negative 2 minus 4 is negative 6 is equal to 0. So our general form of the original equation is 5x squared plus 13x minus 6 is equal to 0. Now, let us use the formula to substitute the value of a, which is 5, b, positive 13, and c, negative 6. So x is equal to negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a is equal to value of b is positive 13. So negative 13 plus minus the square root of b squared, which is 13 raised to the second power, minus 4 times the value of a, which is 5, times the value of c, which is negative 6, over 2 times the value of a, which is 5. So simplify the equation. So negative 13, 13 raised to the second power is 169. Then 4 times 5, that is 20, times negative 6, that is negative 120. Then 2 times 5 is 10. So continue the simplification. So negative 13 plus minus 169 minus negative 120. The answer is 289. And the square root of 289 is 17. So therefore, we have negative 13 plus minus 17 over 10. So the first root or the first solution is negative 13 plus 17 over 10 is equal to negative 13 plus 17 is 4 over 10 or 2 over 5. So that is the first solution or the x sub 1. X sub 2 is negative 13 minus 17 over 10. Negative 13 minus 17 is negative 30 over 10, or negative 30 divided by 10 is negative 3. So therefore, the solutions of 5x squared plus 10x minus 2 is equal to 4 minus 3x, or x is equal to 2p and x is equal to negative 3. So that is how to solve a quadratic equation using a quadratic formula. For your exercises to check your understanding regarding the lesson, you have to try to solve the two given equations. Solve the following equation using quadratic formula. So number 1 is 2x squared minus 4x is equal to negative 1. And the other one is 5x plus 1 is equal to 3x squared. So you have to send me your answer together with your solution so that I can check. And for your homework to be checked next session, so complete the table. You have to identify the values of A, B, and C, and then you have to write the equation to general form and solve using the quadratic formula to find the roots of the equation. So we have numbers 1 to 8. Thank you and good morning.